Hi everyone, today we're in an old motorcycle workshop and I'll show you the bikes still here. As you can see behind me, we already have some that are very old. Some are probably from the 1950s. And well, I'm going to show you everything that's around here. Well, as soon as we walk in, we find this motorcycle. A Honda. This one isn't that old, but it's still got a few years on it. Let's take a look at it from the front. And here's another bike that looks kind of like a Thorn, but much older. And here's another small one. Dismantled. This one is even more dismantled. This one is pretty much intact. With 2,500 kilometers. Before at 100, you don't put the covers on with the engine hot. Harley 1200. Here they would have a Harley. Maybe they would probably sell them too, and so to speak, this would be the stock they had. Come on, that's what I think. These motorcycles made up the stock, and when one sold, they'd replace it with another. This was the stock they had. Besides, obviously it was probably also a workshop. And there we have a 500 BMW. Honda Norton. Triumph. Kota. And now we're going to see the little one. 250. And the 250 competition one. And do you have covers here to put over the bikes? Look at this. How curious, even though he didn't notice. In case of fire, throw bottles into the flames, and there's a little arrow, like there would be bottles here to try to put out the fire. In case of fire, take the gas cylinders out to the yard. And this is the yard, which we'll talk about now. First, let's go to the workshop. Look at the motorcycles here. You have to walk carefully because the roof has collapsed, and look at how it is. It is. You can barely tell what kind of motorcycle it was. But it still has the leather from the seat. Let's see if I can get over there. Let's see if I can. And here we can appreciate a bit more what's left of these bikes. And here? Look, it didn't have the gear shifter, look. It already had a pretty small engine here. And this one here is amazing. Look, the license plate is still preserved. And the suspension, featuring a central spring. And what a headlight it had. Let's go through here and see the other one. This one also had gears on the side. It's a bit better preserved. They're super old, the headlight is intact. Look for sharpening tools. Or for polishing. It's ready. It's curious that this still remains here. Look, there are still some spare parts left. Reflector. Look at the workers' lockers. Victor, Luis, Javier, and Fernando. A spark plug. And here a rear view mirror. Thin toothpick. Look. Look at the motorcycle chain. I've never seen a can like that. Look here, check out what the price says. 133 with 50 pesetas or 103 pesetas. Let's go out to the courtyard. Look, and let's see, these motorcycles. And these are also super old. I think they're from the 50s or so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyway. It has like a small glove compartment here, a saddlebag I think it's called, but it's made of iron. Let's try to go all the way inside. Look, you can read the name here. It looks hand-painted. Look at the headlights. What's going on? Look, here we have another one. There's not much space to stand here. This one's a bit more stripped down. These are really cool, the shape of the handlebars and everything. I love it. And the headlights. They are beautiful. Restored. A bike like that. Restored. When it passes close to you, you turn to look at it. They are jewels. It's a shame they end up here. Okay, yes. Look how well the seat leather is preserved, but it's hard as a rock. Look at the back seat. Look at the reflectors and everything. What's going on? Over there, there's nothing else. Let's go this way. There's not much in these either. Ah, I didn't remember this motorcycle, even though it's dismantled too. But it still has some parts left. And look at those headlights, huh? Wow, this one is intact. Look, what a seat, huh? This was probably from a Harley or a similar large bike. Let's go to the rest of the garages. Although there's not much in them. Let's go into this one to see. But I don't think we'll even be able to get into this one. They would have spare parts here. Look, spare parts. It looks like a whistle, not a relaxed one. This is modern because it doesn't weigh anything. Let's try to go in a little further. This weighs a ton. A piston. Look at all the exhaust pipes that hadn't been seen. And look at this one. And it weighs a ton. I think these are shark ones, right? Shark fin, something like that. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, let's go out. And let's go to the other one. And here is a small room with a couple of closets. But the entrance is quite narrow. So I'm going to leave the camera here. Look at the amount of magazines and papers that are around here. There were 2 closets here. And with clothes. Check this out, 1978. It's in English. Where is it? Also from 78 and also in English. Motorcycling. From 1980. Not from 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago. Math, know everything too. More or less all these magazines are from the 80s. It would be from when the workshop closed. But as we've seen, the motorcycles are quite old. An Indian. I could spend a good while here going through these magazines. We're in the last garage. Look at this. A mini car. I guess it belonged to his son or his grandson because it has Mickey Mouse stickers. He probably made it for his son or his grandson. Most likely. It's nice, isn't it? This is the workshop owner's house. I've already gone inside and there's practically nothing left. Everything is like this, and upstairs there's absolutely nothing. Here, at least there are still some traces, but there's nothing interesting. And this led right to the workshop's courtyard. I mean, he basically had the house with the workshop. Well, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, give it a like and I'll see you at the next place. See you next time.